The story of Moses. A long time ago, God's people, the Israelites, were living in Egypt. At first they were treated well. But a new king came, a Pharaoh, who did not remember Joseph. He saw that the Israelites were growing in number. He became afraid. He thought they might become too powerful and fight against Egypt. So Pharaoh made them slaves. He forced them to work hard. They built cities and worked in the fields. But the more they were hurt, the more they grew in number. Pharaoh gave a terrible command. He told all the people every baby boy born to the Hebrews must be thrown into the Nile River, but let the girls live. There was a Hebrew woman from the tribe of Levi. She had a baby boy. She saw that he was a fine baby. She hid him for 3 months. When she could not hide him any more, she got a basket made of tall grass. She covered it with tar and pitch to make it waterproof. Then she put the baby in the basket. She placed the basket in the tall grass by the bank of the Nile River. The baby's sister stood nearby. She wanted to see what would happen to him. Pharaoh's daughter came down to the river to bathe. Her servant girls walked beside the river. She saw the basket in the tall grass. She sent one of her slave girls to get it. She opened the basket and saw the baby. He was crying. She felt sorry for him. She said, "This is one of the Hebrew babies." The baby's sister came to her and said, "Shall I go and find a Hebrew woman to nurse the baby for you?" Pharaoh's daughter said, "Yes, go." So the girl went and got the baby's own mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this baby and nurse him for me. I will pay you." So the woman took her baby and cared for him. When the child grew older, the mother took him back to Pharaoh's daughter. She adopted him as her son. She named him Moses. She said, "I pulled him out of the water." Moses grew up in Pharaoh's house, but he knew he was a Hebrew. One day he went out to where his people were. He saw how hard they were forced to work. Then he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew man, one of his own people. Moses looked around. He saw that no one was watching. Then he killed the Egyptian. He hid his body in the sand. The next day, Moses went out again. He saw 2 Hebrew men fighting. He said to the one who was in the wrong, "Why are you hitting your fellow Hebrew?" The man said, "Who made you our ruler and judge? Are you going to kill me like you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses became afraid. He thought, "Now everyone knows what I did." Pharaoh heard what Moses had done. He tried to kill Moses, but Moses ran away from Pharaoh. He went to live in the land of Midian. There Moses sat down by a well. A priest in Midian had 7 daughters. They came to the well to get water. They filled the water troughs to water their father's sheep. But some shepherds came and chased them away. Then Moses stood up. He helped the girls. He gave water to their sheep. The girls went back to their father Reuel. He said, "Why have you come back so early today?" They answered, "An Egyptian saved us from the shepherds. He even got water for us and gave it to the sheep." Reuel said to his daughters, "Where is this man? Why did you leave him there? Invite him to eat with us." So Moses stayed and lived with Reuel. Later, Moses married one of his daughters. Her name was Zipporah. She had a son, and Moses named him Gershom. That name means "I am a stranger in a foreign land." One day Moses was taking care of his father-in-law's sheep near Mount Horeb. He led the sheep to the far side of the desert. There he saw a strange sight. A bush was on fire, but it did not burn up. Moses said, "I will go closer to see this strange thing." When the Lord saw Moses coming, he called to him from the bush, "Moses, Moses." Moses answered, "Here I am." God said, "Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals, for you are standing on holy ground." Then God said, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. God said, "I have seen the suffering of my people in Egypt. I have heard their cries because of their slave drivers. I know their pain, so I have come down to rescue them from Egypt. I will bring them to a good and large land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Then God said, I will send you to Pharaoh to bring my people the Israelites out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, Who am I to go to Pharaoh and lead the Israelites out of Egypt? God said, I will be with you. Then Moses asked, What if the Israelites ask your name? God answered, Tell them I am has sent you. God told Moses to tell the people that he, the Lord God, the God of their fathers, had sent him. God gave Moses signs to show the people that he had sent him. God said, If they do not believe you, throw your staff on the ground, and it will become a snake. Moses did as God said, and the staff became a snake. God told Moses to pick it up by the tail, and it became a staff again. God said, If they do not believe this, then take some water from the Nile and pour it on the ground. The water will become blood. But Moses said, O Lord, I am not a good speaker. God said, I will help you speak and teach you what to say. Still Moses said, Please, Lord, send someone else. God became angry, but told Moses that his brother Aaron would help him. God said, Aaron will speak for you. So Moses obeyed God and prepared to go to Egypt. Moses went back to Egypt with his wife and sons. God told Moses to do great signs before Pharaoh. Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said, Let my people go. But Pharaoh said no. Pharaoh made the Israelites work harder. God sent terrible plagues on Egypt. The Nile turned to blood. Frogs covered the land. Gnats and flies troubled the people. The animals got sick and died. The people had painful sores. Hail and fire burned the fields. Locusts ate every green plant. Darkness covered the land for 3 days. Finally, God sent the death of the firstborn. The Israelites put the blood of a lamb on their doors. God passed over their homes. Their firstborns were safe. Pharaoh finally said, Go. The Israelites left Egypt. They took many things from the Egyptians. God led them with a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night. Pharaoh changed his mind and chased after them with his army. At the Red Sea, God made a way. The water divided. The Israelites crossed on dry land. The Egyptians tried to follow. The waters came back and covered Pharaoh's army. The Israelites were free. After leaving Egypt, the Israelites traveled to Mount Sinai. There God gave Moses the 10 Commandments. God spoke to the people. He gave them laws to follow. These laws would help them live as his people. God told Moses to come up the mountain. Moses stayed there for 40 days and nights. God wrote the 10 Commandments on 2 stone tablets. The first commandment, do not have any other gods except me. The second commandment, do not make statues of gods for yourselves. Do not worship them or serve them. The third commandment, do not use the name of the Lord your God in a wrong way. The fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. The fifth commandment, honor your father and your mother. The sixth commandment, you must not murder anyone. The seventh commandment, you must not be guilty of adultery. The eighth commandment, you must not steal. The ninth commandment, you must not tell lies about your neighbor. The 10th commandment, you must not want to take your neighbor's house or wife or anything that belongs to him. The people promised to obey God's laws. While Moses was on the mountain, the people made a golden calf to worship. God was angry. Moses came down and broke the stone tablets. He prayed for God's forgiveness. God gave Moses new tablets. The people followed God's laws and lived as his chosen people. Moses stayed faithful to God. Before he died, he climbed a mountain and saw the land God promised to his people. Moses did not enter that land, but he trusted God with all his heart. This is the story of Moses. If you want to hear more powerful stories from the Bible, please subscribe to my channel. Let us grow in faith together.